My name's Simon Kingsnorth. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Here we're going to talk all things marketing. I'm the author of the best-selling books Digital Marketing Strategy and the Digital Marketing Handbook, and I've been helping companies big and small for 25 years to build and execute really successful marketing strategies. Don't forget to subscribe, and we're going to help you deliver some fantastic strategies yourself. Today I want to kick off the first in an SEO course, totally free online video course for you guys to learn a little bit about SEO. And we're going to start today by talking about the basics of SEO. What is it? How does it work? What are the fundamental areas you need to be thinking about? And then over the course we're going to go through digging into a whole range of areas around technical SEO, around content, around link building, around structured data, and everything you need to do to deliver the best results you can for your SEO strategy. So let's get stuck in. Okay, so what is SEO? The big question. It's a bit of a dark art, it's a bit of a science, it's a little bit of magic mixed in there as well, but ultimately what you're trying to do is rank across the search engines, right? I think we all know that bit, right? Google being the main focus. You shouldn't really focus on the search engine though. This is one thing I always say to people: don't focus on Google, focus on the user, right? That's the bit that really matters. And ultimately Google is trying to focus on that user as well. So if you do that, you'll always stay in line with Google. If you just try and learn Google's rules, then as soon as they switch their rules, you're behind. So make sure you focus on delivering really great value for the user, and that's your best chance of success. Okay, so let's get into it. So SEO, organic search as they call it, natural search some people call it as well. A lot of people think about keywords when they search up SEO and what they need to be doing with it. Keywords certainly play a really important role. Key phrases is perhaps a better way of thinking about it. It's rarely one word people are searching for. People are naturally using sentences, questions, and especially with voice search now, it's become a lot more natural to use a phrase rather than a specific keyword. But for now, we'll keep keywords and key phrases interchangeable. They're basically the same thing in that sense. So with the keyword, yeah, absolutely, you do need to be thinking about where you want to be targeting your website to what audience. Now we'll dig in a later video about how you do really comprehensive keyword research, how you understand what's going to drive intent, what people are genuinely searching for, how you try and avoid any negative keywords, which is easy in Google Ads. You can just count out negative keywords. Don't return results on that one. Obviously in SEO you have to be a bit smarter about how you do that. But keywords remain an important point, and you need to be thinking about what those are for you, what those are for your competitors. And there's some fantastic tools out there like SEMrush, for example. Again, we'll do a later video in this course on some really great SEO tools, so look out for that one. But within this course, it's critical to touch on these tools as we go through every stage. But anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's skip back. So yeah, keywords are important. Now we need to build those keywords as key phrases into what we write. Again, there are some great tools available out there for helping you write keywords and understanding what to write within your content. But don't focus too much on the keywords. Focus on the value that you're giving the user throughout the story that you're telling them, and pull those keywords into that. Do it naturally. Don't try and force them in there. Do it in a really natural, organic way, hence organic search. That's really important. And also, we've talked a bit about Google. Don't focus on Google, focus on the human. That's right. Don't forget there are other search engines, right? Now, they might not be so relevant, and in many audiences, they're not relevant at all. There are countries in the world where Google has pretty much the entire market share of search. But there are places like the US, for example, where Bing still plays a role, and you shouldn't forget that. We'll talk a little bit more about the differences between the two and how you can optimize both of those later on in the course. Now, within one of my books, Digital Marketing Strategy, which is used by a lot of universities and the Chartered Institute of Marketing here in the UK to teach marketing, I use a model called the SEO triangle. So you've got 3 points to a triangle. I think we all know that much. And the way I use this model is effectively to say you have content, you have technical, and you have links. And those are your 3 points of the triangle. Now, if you can consider all those 3 elements, all the kind of ranking behaviors, the activities, the focal things you need to do within SEO to drive results fall into one of those buckets, right? One of those corners of the triangle. So it's a helpful way just to think about that. Now, in the next video, we're going to dig down into the algorithms and the deep, dirty, exciting sort of sexy stuff of SEO and how that works. I can't tell you how Google's algorithm works, I'm afraid, in detail. I'd be a very wealthy man if I could, but I can teach you a lot about that, and we'll look at that in detail to help you understand what that is and not how you manipulate it. Let's be clear, not how you manipulate it, but how you just appreciate what Google is trying to do and how you build an SEO strategy that fits in with that. So we'll look at, in one of the videos coming up, content, how you write good, fresh, recent, relevant content, how you drive authority with that as well. And that is important, by the way. It isn't just a case of churning out a lot of content and hoping Google sees that and goes, okay, great, they've written a lot, they must be smart. Right? It's a case of writing stuff that is relevant, again, to your audience. Whoever your niche is, whoever your industry is, write things that are relevant to that. Don't get off track. Don't start going off down some, oh, that's trending, I should write about that, even though it's nothing to do with what we do as a company. Stay in your space, stay in your niche, stay in lane, as they say, and keep very relevant to what you're writing about. And also, as I said, the other piece is recency. Write things that are, trending is good if it's relevant to you and your audience. Write something that is trending. Write something that is within your niche that's happening right now and is worth talking about. Keep publishing. Don't publish once and then publish again in 6 months and wonder why no one's visiting your site. Google is looking for you to be writing fresh content. That's what users of the internet are looking for. They're looking for things that are happening in the now. So they need to go to those sites that are publishing things right now. If you haven't published anything for 3 months, you're not going to be as relevant, right? So it's important to be publishing regularly. But not only that, we'll talk about little tips like, let's go back to things we published 6 months ago or 12 months ago and rewrite that and refresh that and bring in new data into that. That's a great way of keeping your content up to speed. There's a little bit of a resourcing question around that within your business, depending on what size you are and how you operate, but we'll tackle that. We'll look at that within the course as well. We'll also talk about a lot of areas within technical SEO, which is huge and detailed, but you don't need to be a technical expert. You don't need to be a developer. And actually, my view of where the marketing industry is going over the next 10 years or so is actually that whilst developers will remain very, very important, there will be less of a need to have developers within the marketing team, as there are more no-code tools being developed, as AI is playing more of a part in what we do. It's going to be less important to have a developer within your team, although there will still need to be developers producing all these fantastic tools and making sure they're working effectively. So within technical SEO, we need to look at things like core web vitals, for example. So is your site behaving correctly? Is it behaving technically well? Is it fast and easy to navigate? We need to look at whether it's responsive, which these days is obvious, but it's amazing how many sites I still stumble across that are just not responsive, even ones that have been built in the last couple of years. That's just inexcusable now, to be honest with you. We'll look at tagging, which is somewhere between content and technical. Make sure our alt tags in place, make sure our H tags are in place. Really good tidying up code pieces, and we need to tidy up the code as well. That's a good one to stumble across. Keep it nice and clean. But also, one of the reasons to do that tagging is not just signals for search engines, it's also accessibility. Remember, not everyone has the same ability to experience the internet or life in the same way, and we need to make sure that we're accessible to give that, to sort of level that playing field, to give everyone the ability to experience what we're experiencing. So accessibility plays an important role, and the search engines quite rightly look at your site and say, if it's not accessible, I'm not going to rank that as highly, and that's the right thing to do. We're going to look at internal linking, keeping people within your site, and we're going to look at the structure of your hierarchy, making sure people can understand it. People and search engines can naturally, intuitively understand that structure and move around it very easily. And within that, there are signals around user experience. We'll look at those as well and what that means for SEO. And we'll look at also some myths around SEO. We'll look at things like meta tags. I was just having a conversation with someone this morning actually who was talking about SEO, and they said, I think we're good because we got our meta tags right. Now that concerned me a little bit. That's a little bit 2001, 1999 maybe, but certainly meta tags not so important to consider from an SEO perspective, but still important to consider. Our descriptions are important, our titles are important. They're what drives behaviors, they're what drives click-through rates. We'll talk a little bit about whether Google is and should be overriding some of those as well. But there's a lot to talk about here. And then finally, in the link side, we'll talk about link juice. We'll talk about what that means. We'll talk about redirects. We'll talk about how to relaunch sites and do that without damaging your SEO. We'll talk about international SEO and local SEO. And we'll talk about how you build links in a really effective way. We don't want to go anywhere near black hat SEO. We don't want to be buying links. We don't want to be suddenly adding tens of thousands of links very suspiciously to our website. We want to be creating a site that people want to link to. Let's bake those. Let's create really good content and tools that pull people to our website. That's really important for success. So we're going to go through all of that in the course. I hope this first section of the course has given you a bit of a taster for some of these exciting moments. I hope it's given you a very high level view of the key things that you need to consider within your SEO strategy. If there's anything I've mentioned today you're not doing, get on it right now. And if you want to know exactly how to get into that, look for the part of the course later on that's going to teach you how to do that. So don't forget to like the video if you found it useful, and subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with any other marketing courses and advice that I'm going to be bringing you over the coming months. And obviously, as I say, follow the course to learn more about SEO. Good luck out there.